The redone Mini Cooper S has a heads-up display. I never thought those words would ever be in a sentence together. But the 2014 Mini Cooper S is a redesigned car. This is the first major redesign of the Mini since it was reintroduced to the US in 2002. The interior hasn't lost its funkiness, if that's a word. Instead of an ignition key or start button, Mini has a red lever that turns the car on or off. That's really cool, but something I found that wasn't cool is that although the Mini has keyless entry, you have to pay an additional $250 to make it work from inside your pocket or purse. In other words, you still have to find the fob in your coat, jacket, or backpack and press a button on it to get into the car, unless you pay the extra $250 for the transmitter to be embedded in your remote. That seems a little dated for a car that's supposed to always reflect the cutting edge. You can change the funky mood lighting in the Mini by flicking one of the overhead toggles, sort of like the switch on old airplanes that turned off the no smoking sign. While the Mini Cooper S we tested had the cold weather package, which included heated seats, the seats were still manual. The fully loaded package included navigation to help you get to where you're going when you're going forward. If you're going backward, you're as on your own as you were 30 years ago, unless you pay an additional $1,000 for a backup camera and parking sensors. I'll soon be able to stop harping on backup cameras now that they're becoming mandatory on most vehicles sold in the US. If you garage your Mini, you may want to spend an extra $250 for the universal opener. The old-fashioned clip-on openers don't play very well with the thick visors in the Mini. Among the things that were standard on our well-equipped Mini are run-flat tires and what Mini calls wide bullfrog stance. The original Mini was developed in Britain when the Beatles were still called the Quarrymen. The Mini thrived as both a rally car and a city car all through the swinging 60s and beyond. While the Mini spent the last half of the last century as a symbol of British cheek, if not chic, it eventually got long in the tooth. In the new millennium, the new Mini motored onto American shores and became a hit. More than a decade later, the Mini family has grown almost as fast as the Duggars, with 8 models on the market. But in a smart move, Mini, which is owned by BMW, didn't just refresh the 2-door bread and butter model, they baked a whole new loaf. The 2014 Mini Cooper S is slightly larger than the outgoing model. While it is available with 4 doors and even 3 cylinders, our test car was the 2-door Cooper S variant. The 2-liter twin-turbo 4 generates 189 horsepower and 207 pound-feet of torque. The dial-a-ride system options are Sport, Mid, and Green. I definitely felt the difference when I switched the car into Sport and rode the 6 gears aggressively. While the gearbox felt almost as nice as a BMW, I thought the shift knob was kinda chunky, for lack of a better term. The multifunction steering wheel also seemed rather thick for my taste, but a lot of these things have more to do with what you like rather than what I like, so try it at the dealer. But Mini has maintained the fun-to-drive characteristics that made it a legend. The German engine and transmission will get you 25 miles to the gallon in the city and 38 on the highway. The Mini has an 11.6 gallon fuel tank. Mini lists the 0 to 60 time on the 6-speed at 6.5 seconds. The automatic is rated a tenth of a second faster. The 2014 Mini Cooper S is the first manual transmission car I've tested that has idle stop. It took me a moment to realize that I hadn't stalled the Mini at a light, it was just hibernating to save fuel. LED headlights with cornering are a nice safety feature in the suburbs at night. The base price for the 2014 Mini Cooper S hardtop was $23,600. That includes what Mini calls bonnet to boot no cost maintenance for 3 years or 36,000 miles, whichever comes first. Options on our test car, which included leather seats, navigation, and a huge glass roof, brought our total price as tested to $33,795. I'm Grant Winter reporting for Real World Test Drive.